Can a non-technical person learn Claude API in a week? We're about to go ahead and find out. My name is Rich. If you haven't subscribed to our series yet, please go ahead and do. So, because I'm preparing for the CCAF exam, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a glorified tech career coach. I help people land product manager jobs, forward deployed engineering jobs, cybersecurity jobs, basically the hottest jobs right now in tech, our company is responsible for. I have a gang of instructors here that are freaking awesome. If you're just following us right now, she's one of them. She's our AI instructor based out here in New York. There's actually our instructor out there in Toronto. Another one of our, this is actually an AWS product manager that's also based here in New York. And then we also have, as you can see, all these other coaches and mentors that are here. I'm doing it all by myself because I really want to go ahead and challenge myself. Most people think that learning AI right now is impossible. Let's go ahead and actually find out. So in the previous sessions, if you're just joining us right now, basically this was actually 2 days ago, we talked about getting started on the Claude Certified Foundations Architect. $100 million, what is the $100 million Claude Partner Network? What are the requirements to passing the Claude Certified Foundations Architect? What are the requirements to accessing the Claude Partner Network? Because they're two different things. How to go ahead and actually make money studying for the Claude Certified Foundations Architect, and then how to create the game plan. I am doing all of this built in public. I have compiled a gang of resources right now for y'all, and I've documented all on this one Google Doc, which I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and actually start dividing some of this thing up. If you want access to all these resources, all you basically gotta do here is, we're at 240 today, nice. So go to my Zero to Hero WAP, and this is how you access it. You're watching this right now on my personal YouTube channel, What Bad Economy. And all you got to do is, at the bottom of the YouTube description, you will go ahead and actually see, you scroll down here. You'll go ahead and actually scroll down here, and there's some free resources. You click on that, or if that's too complicated for you, all you got to do is click more here. Right below schedule a call, you basically have this WAP community, wap.com, Awaken AI, product management community. There you go. Our group basically got approved for the initial approval. We cleared the initial review, and we're on the path to approval. So right now, this happened about 10 days ago. So this is May 14th. It's currently May 24th. Long weekend, Sunday morning. I just woke up, got done about like an hour doom scrolling, and then now I'm feeling like all my mental senses are basically coming back. But we released this news probably last Sunday, and then now all of us are basically studying for this exam. That's working at our company, that's in our program, and then a bunch of other people. We wanted to go out there and actually do this live. And I thought to myself, okay, I could just sit in on the classes, but how would I go ahead and attack it if I didn't have all these resources, just to kind of really challenge my brain a little bit. And I wanted to do it all in public. In the next few weeks, the partner platform is really gonna go ahead and actually ramp up, because if you've been following this, I'm trying to go ahead and actually find these tabs here, give me a second. The partner portal is supposed to be opening up sometime in June. They just don't have the actual date just yet, but it's supposed to go ahead and actually open up in June. And I will go ahead and actually say this. It's been impossible to go out there and actually follow the curriculum. So as much as I wanted to follow this curriculum here, it's been very difficult, and I don't want to go out there and be like I don't want to go out there and speak negative about anybody. We have Claude, so let's just leverage Claude. And that's exactly what we've done so far. If you're just joining us, please watch the previous videos. I just got done recording. I'm about to learn Claude API with zero coding experience. This is my game plan. What is the API? I set my first Claude API call yesterday, and I did a recap for day 1. We are now officially kicking off with day 2 of this journey, where I really want to get exam ready within 7 weeks for myself, and I'm not leveraging any of the resources that I just have just yet with my instructor crew or any of that. So for starters, Last time we left off this is the session log where I'm going to paste it at the start of the next session. And I'm going to start, I'm going to develop basically a new Google Doc because this is actually getting a little bit too much. It's getting too long. Okay, so we are doing 524.26, the CCAF. We basically have this one right here, and I'm just gonna go and just grab some of this information and move it over. So this is actually my session log. Paste this at the start of the next session. So date 24, so we cover the foundation layer. And working with Claude, how I was able to prompt it, this is actually why you wanna watch the previous sessions. How I was able to go ahead and actually prompt it to understand how I study, because this is what I notice with every session, right? Is like everybody that's on YouTube and the internet showing people these tutorials is like they all figured out a way that kind of works for them if they're doing it on their own. If not, our instructors I just think are the best, you know. But if you were to do this on your own, like how would you go ahead and do this on your own, right? So how today connects with the exam. The exam's never going to ask you to write code, so I'm actually going to go ahead. You already know enough to answer those 3 questions right now. That's day 1. And I'm going to grab this, and this is actually what a lot of people do. Like on the back end is they create these like processes. And this is actually what people want to see the most, so I encourage you to also do this for yourself. And then I am going to add this thing right here. So this is actually my roadmap, my 8-week roadmap. My 8-week roadmap, you know, to be exam ready for the CCFAF. Okay. And I'm just going to grab this right here and mark this thing down. It makes it easier for me. And I love just doing it live like this because I can now, you know, some people are going to say like, just hurry. Like, no, dude, you actually want to do this. And I'm not doing this for y'all. I'm doing this for me. Because I'm going to be able to retrace my steps. And this is actually very important because our attention is getting pulled by so many areas right now. So, like, if I'm being very real, I went to sleep last night around 2 a.m. and I was feeling like very fresh. And this morning when I wake up, I like forgot so much shit. So I'm going to be able to refer to these videos and be like, oh, okay, all right. So I'm feeling a little bit more like confident right now, right? And I'm getting all this thing down because this is all in one chat. Eventually all the context is going to shrink up, and there's going to be people in the comments going to be like, no, I mean, you can do that. I'm going to do this because this is working out for me right now and I'm getting it done, right? So 8-week roadmap to exam ready. So week 1 is the API foundation. This is where we are now. Now we're going to be learning system prompts, convert conversation history, how to give Claude memory by passing context, stop, reasons. Okay, so I'm going to get all this done right now. This is week 2. What is the agentic loop? And it's really cool because now for future curriculum, this is how we're going to set up an 8-week curriculum right here, right? This is giving me an idea. And then how today connects to the exam. Got it. And then we have the exam readiness tracker, which I'm feeling a little bit better here. You were exactly on track for week 1. And we got this. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this at the start of the next session. Okay. And then I also have my YouTube video here. And then I also have my exam readiness tracker right here. So I'm feeling good. And then let's see what else we got. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to add this thing all the way to the top. So what to do the moment you wake up, you open up this project, not a new chat. You paste the session log from today. Okay, and you say, I'm back, ready for system prompts. Let's build it. And that's exactly, and that's it. And, okay, pretty cool. So I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back over here. Okay, and it's really important that you get this thing on a Notion or a Google Doc or something, because look at how much we've already prompted. Because when you're in the flow state and you are just going, you're like, damn, I'm freaking crushing it, right? And then you forget all this shit. You got to really think about this like you're studying for law or med school, So I'm going to go ahead and paste all of that. And then I'm also going to go back here and it says, okay. And it says like, hey, open up this project, paste in the session log from the top at the message and say this, I'm back. Let's build it in Collab. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to add a little something to it too. I'm just going to paste this. Okay. I currently have my Loom recorder on as well to record this entire session. So give me a YouTube title that I could use for this that's going to be highly searchable on YouTube. And then on top of that, tell me how much we're going to go ahead and cover in one recording session before I can go ahead and actually take a break and then move on to take a break and then keep moving on to the next thing. Because currently right now we are 11 minutes and 53 seconds into the recording. Paste all this. Boom. Send it. 10:24 in the AM. Oh, let's go. So I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to add it. And then how long is this recording? Okay, let's target system prompts for 18-20 minutes. Rule of thumb for this series: one concept per video, one build per video, one camera moment per video. Never tried to cram two major concepts into one recording. What we're going to go ahead and cover, what a system prompt is. Let's build it. You are a staffing agency, and I really love it because I gave it my background, so it's giving me analogies that I can actually understand. You're a staffing agency client, you've hired a contractor, brilliant, capable, ready to work. Before they start, you hand them an employee notebook. It tells them what company they're working for, what role, what their role is, what tone to use with the customers, what they are and not allowed, what they are and are not allowed to do, what to do if they're unsure. The contractor reads the handbook once at the start of every single shift, then the customers start calling. The employee handbook is a system prompt. The customer's first question is the user message. Claude reads all of that. So in your API call right now, your code looks like this. Role, user, content, your question here. That's the one. Okay. The user, but there's actually 3 roles in the API. Your system, user, assistant. Okay, so you have system prompt becomes this. The part most people get wrong. This is the one that matters for the exam. The system prompt is not just a polite suggestion. It's an architectural contract between you and the builder. So it's what to go ahead and actually do right now. Go to your Collab notebook. Replace your entire code block with this. Import, client, okay. Model, token, systems, print message. Pause the recording, insert the real key. Okay, let's go ahead and actually get it. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back over to my Collab and I'm going to pop this thing in. And you guys, remember, all this information right here, I'm going to be popping into the Google Docs. You can actually access all of this right here into the product management WAP. And then you can actually go ahead and come in here. All the resources are basically here for y'all. We got y'all, okay? I want as many people to win as possible. I'm doing this largely to go ahead, number one, to prove that I can do it myself. Like, cause like I think I could do a better job than I think a lot of technical people, but because I don't have the technical depth, I'm sometimes trying to always actually a lot more times I'm trying to explain my vision. They're really not getting it right, and I think you probably have that frustration too. Now we can just remove that layer and just go, go. No. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna copy it. So to give you a glimpse, I've replaced the entire code block. I didn't start a new code block. I replaced the entire code block here. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually add in my API because it basically says import Anthropic, and I've added the entire section here. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and get after it. All right. So this is actually what ended up happening. So I plugged in the prompt, and it basically said there was an error, and it said this is an easy fix. This is a fresh collab session. Forget about it forgot about the installation from last time. What happened? The collab resets every single time you close it and reopen it. So the Anthropic library you installed last session is gone. You need to reinstall it before running the code. So fix 2 steps. Step 1, click plus code at the top, which I did. Add a new cell above your current code. Step 2, paste it into a new cell, which is what I did. Press play on that first cell and then wait for the check mark, which I did. Then press play on your main code. It says this is actually an important lesson. Google Colab doesn't remember anything between sessions, just like Claude doesn't remember anything in between API calls. Every session starts fresh. What I thought was really interesting was I had all these tabs up. I went to bed at 2 a.m. So I was just thinking I could just pick up where it is that I left off. Apparently it forgets. So that's something important to go out there and note. Run and install the first session first. And then you basically have that worked perfectly. And did you just know what just happened? I asked Claude the exact same question I asked yesterday, the same words, but this time I added one thing, a system prompt. And Claude became a completely different assistant. Grumpy, impatient, and short. That personality didn't come from Claude, it came from me. I engineered it. This is what it means to be a builder. So what we just proved right now is it's the same model, same question, but different behavior. The only variable was the system prompt. This is the most important concept of the entire exam because every scenario is built around the system prompt that either works correctly or fails in a very specific way. Now contrast, we're going to do this. So we're going to replace the system prompt with this one line. So system, you are warm, encouraging career coach. So I'm going to copy this, keep everything else identical, press play. So I'm going to pause it again. And as you can see, you are a grumpy, impatient. So this is actually where it says max tokens 1024. Okay, so it says system right here. You are a grumpy, impatient assistant who gives very short answers and complains about every question you receive. And the text block that we got is look, it's empathy, and you could have figured, it's empathy, and you could have figured that out yourself. People need someone who actually listens instead of just sprouting generic advice about coding boot camps. The tech industry is a mess. Careers keep shifting, and coaches who can read what somebody actually needs instead of what they think they should want, that's what matters. Now, anything else, type in the text. Okay, so now in the system prompt, I just added in this, so you are a warm, encouraging career coach. And let's just go ahead and see how the answers differ. All right, so I tried to follow the instructions again. I actually made a screenshot. I actually even uploaded the wrong screenshot, but I asked Claude, it says, no worries. Let's see what happened. There's 2 problems. The code got corrupted when you pasted, words are broken up instead of instead of system. This happens when you paste over existing code imperfectly. Made a mistake. You click on the cell, and then it basically gave me this whole text block. I deleted everything and I pasted it. I paused the recording so I can go out there and actually add my API here. And then the syntax error. So this is the response that I basically got right here, which was all right, The most critical skill translating between worlds for a tech career coach in 2026, the ability to translate between technical and non-technical languages to be genuinely bilingual in both domains. Why this matters more than ever, the real problem you're solving. Non-technical professionals don't need somebody who talks down to them or oversimplifies tech. They need somebody who understands their legitimate concerns, imposter syndrome, age anxiety, sour negotiations, and unfamiliar territory, speaks credibly about actual tech skills without pretending to code better than you do, bridges the gap between what hiring managers and what career changers can actually realistically offer, demystifies the jargon that gatekeeps entire industries. Why this beats everything else, even more valuable than technical certifications. You can guide people to these. You don't need them. Industry and industry connections important, but secondary knowledge. Every job board, these change constantly. The translation skill is what actually moves somebody from overwhelmed by bootcamp marketing to landing a real role. Practical application, Python analyst, but not necessarily how to write it yourself. You need a real job description and genuinely parse what's required versus what's nice to have. What's your background, the context, This worked out perfectly. Now you just see what happened across all three runs. The contrast you just created, run one, no system prompt. Claude gave a balanced, neutral consulting answer, ended with what's prompting this question. The second run, we had a very grumpy system prompt. Claude was impatient, short, complained, ended with now anything else. Run three, warm career coach system prompt. Claude gave structured headers, bullet points, thorough advice, ended with what's your background? The camera moment, say this out loud. Same model, same question, three completely different assistants. The only thing that changed was the system prompt. This is why system prompts are most important architectural decisions in any AI product. You are not just promoting Claude, you are designing its entire personality, its constraints, and its behavior before a single user even types a word. The exam connection. This is direct. This is the part most people get wrong on the exam. The exam will give you a scenario like this. Your customer support agent is telling users they can get refunds on non-refundable items. How do you fix this? Every non-technical person's instinct is tell Claude stop doing that. The correct answer is fix the system prompt with an explicit restriction, not a user message, not a follow-up prompt, the system prompt, because this is the architectural contrast. Why was this so fucking hard to explain? Okay, now this is actually getting fun, right? Because now I'm understanding, instead of like me going through, I'm going to take this right now and going through here, and you guys are seeing like I just couldn't follow this. I couldn't do it. I was actually watching it. And just listen to this robotic ass voice because somebody decided to use AI to make these videos because it probably saved them a shit ton of time. I just couldn't get it done. So what ended up happening was, okay, I did something. Now I'm seeing all the different results. They gave me 3 different scenarios. I had 3 runs total, and now my anxiety is also being reduced because I'm understanding how it's relating to the actual exam, and it's also giving me, this is an actual question that's on the exam because I've seen the practice exams of it. So, and honestly, this was actually my first instinct as a non-technical person. It's doing something that we don't want it to do. So let's just tell Claude to stop doing what it is that we don't want it to do anymore. So very cool. What we've now covered is what is a system prompt, where it lives in the API call, how it controls Claude's entire behavior, why it's primary fix for misbehaving AI products. This recording is now done. You now have a clean stopping point here. Your next video, conversation history. The next concept is how to give Claude memory by passing context back in every API call. This directly answers the question you had yesterday, why does Claude forget everything? And it sets up the most tested concept in domain 1. So this is the session log. Yo, let's get it. Let's really, really go ahead and get it. And I really like how we've trained this model now to be very effective, because now all I got to go ahead and do is just build up on top of the next one. And I'm feeling better because my exam readiness tracker, I'm starting to see actual results. And then next priority is like conversation, stateless. Okay, so this prompt, this and how it got to this session where I'm actually doing this was I was very clear. That's why spend a little bit more time in the beginning being intentional, because when I created the prompt, the project prompt, it's like I want to give you full context of who I am. These are my goals. This is also why you want to come in here. I want to give you all this, right? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, the YouTube series, and start every session. And I gave it such detailed instructions. Like I wanted an exam tracker for this. And I want to be able to pick up where it is that I left off, because I'm doing this right now. I do a lot of this shit on the weekend because like during the week, we just get blown up too much on calls after calls after calls. And then as you guys can also go ahead and see, we get a lot of people jobs. So like I'm talking to somebody about their offer at one company and I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? And I'm a human being just like, yo, I'm going to go back into doom scrolling on Instagram or like checking a text message, or I get blown up a lot on LinkedIn. It's really, really hard to go out there and stay focused. So having my Claude tutor, my CCAF tutor, that just lets me know, okay, this is what it is that I need to cover. And I'm setting these realistic goals for myself, because now I'm basically creating my own little checklist of what it is that I need to get done. And I'm documenting this. So if I forget while I'm cooking lunch, while I'm washing dishes, while I'm just like freaking Dysoning around the house, I can just go out there, pop in my AirPods, and I'm like, okay, I can retrace the steps audioly, and then I can also go ahead and watch this. This is what's going to go ahead. This is the money right here, champs. This is what's going to go ahead and get you the jobs. A big part of this partner platform is training up people how to go ahead and use Claude. And other people are going to say they know how to use it, which I have no doubt. There's a lot of people on YouTube that say they know it, but can you actually, everybody that they hired to do this, they also know how to use this, right? But the thing is, do you know how to teach these customers? Because the reason why you're doing this is, well, number one, of course, to level up on the skills, but you want to make more money. The biggest money gold printing like opportunity in the next 5 years is helping people level up. Because there's a huge population right now, close to 90% of the working market in the white collar services and professional services don't know how to do any of this. And they can't even start, because every single time they start, they just feel so overwhelmed, and then they go out there, they kind of back off from it. They think they're too old. They think they can't learn it. I never had a technical background. When in reality, if we just set up the Claude project right now, it gets a little bit better. I'm already getting so many more ideas about this in terms of like creating an actual app to help people level up. And if we actually integrate this with an 11 Labs voice partner that's going to be with you every single step of the way. So when you're getting stuck, think about the opportunities that you could be making on the back end, right? Where the voice assistant can say, yo, Rich, don't be flustered. We got this. Let's take this one step at a time. Can you give me a screenshot of exactly what is it that you're seeing? Okay, I see what it is that you did wrong. Your code just broke. And all you got to do is copy and paste this and then add in your API. This is now walking me through, holding my hand, giving me step-by-step instructions, and it's recognizing, it's giving me analogies that I understand because I come from a recruiting background. It's giving me very relevant use cases to, well, how does this relate to the exam? So I understand, and I'm making mental notes, and I'm putting all of this on the Google Doc. So when I'm studying for the real exam, now I have things to actually refer to, and I'm video recording this because when everybody else is going to be sweating, thinking about whether or not they're going to pass a test that they spent $99 for, all I got to go ahead and do is actually just replay this, and I'm listening to it all over again. Once you have this foundation, it's going to be so much easier for you to learn Cursor. It's going to be so much easier for you to learn all these new tools, because the one thing that we do know for sure is that AI is moving faster than ever, and we're only going to have to learn more and more and more and more and more new tools. We haven't even gotten to like Google anti-gravity. People are like, what's that? About to show y'all. We keep on dropping this, and as you're seeing, like this entire journey that you're going through it, because you will forget, it's going to be so much helpful for you later on. Champs, don't go ahead and give up at all. The next session is we are now going to go through conversation history. And I really love this entire system that I set up. I know. I'm pretty impressed with myself because now I understand exactly what I have to do to just get through all of this. And you know what's crazy is that I started going through some of the watch curriculum before. And now that I have all this context, I'm understanding that much more, you know? Versus like, I think people need a pre-course to be able to just like kind of dive in here. Like, if you're on a sports team, you practice before the game, right? You practice before the game. But if you're a real professional athlete, you're practicing before the practice, because during the practice, you have the whole coaching staff there. You have all the players there. Everything's being recorded. You should actually have, I think, a pre-course, which is, you know, now that I'm doing it, I'm getting all these different ideas. But I know now, okay, we're going to cover one concept. And I know, okay, I just got to cross this off. And then now I'm going to move over to agents. And I honestly don't even think I'm going to need 1 week. I think I'm just going to be able to go through all of this, I think within like a week and a half. Everything starts off very slow and really slow and like frustrating in the beginning. It's really setting up that foundation, but you got to think I'm building a skyscraper. This is an affirmation that my team and I have. You know, we're not building a sandcastle here. We're building a fortress, you know. Because once you have the fortress, nobody fucks with your fortress, right? Sandcastle, wind blows a little harder, the water washes up the sort of a whack, you know. But when you have a fortress and it's moated and it's like gated, ain't nobody messing with the fortress, right? So now I know. I think I can get through with this an entire week. The only thing I'm afraid now is actually hitting my usage limits. But I'm going to go out there and take a quick break because I've been talking now for nonstop 32 minutes. And I'm actually going to go ahead and watch this recording myself to just kind of retain the information that I just learned better. I think there's so many other takeaways I want to provide for y'all, which I think is really important. You got to remember this like when we were in school. And I think this is why there's such a huge decline in memory after you go to school and why it's so important to constantly learn new things. You know, when we were back in college, you had like a history class, like a film writing class, like, you know, a biology class, all these different subjects, right? It wasn't just your major. And then you had clear timelines like midterm, final. And then when you get out of school, it's like you only really just study kind of like your own personal interests, of course, but then you just really just study like your job. And then you get to a point where you're decent at your job and you start managing your people and you're not really pumping in a massive amounts of new information anymore. This is why it's so important to just do this, because like now once I know how to build, I don't need to rely on our own engineering team as much because they're already overworked as much as possible already. They're already way beyond overworked. I can now come and see how I can go out there and help out, or the little things that I need done, I no longer need to go ahead and bother them anymore. And this is the greatest weapon to just defend yourself in the market is this type of AI knowledge, right? We're going to keep on going. I think I'm going to be able to crack all of this down today. So I'm not even going to really need like a week. I'm just going to go out there and just crack on. Let's get it. Don't forget to go ahead, get into WAP. See, I'm showing you guys every single step because I'm being very intentional. Like, oh, the description, where? You got like 18 links in there, bro. Like, go into the description, WAP community, right below schedule a consultation. I will go ahead and actually see you there. We gunning for 10,000 folks. Okay, we gunning for 10,000. Let's get it. Let's really get it.